Welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to talk through updates I've made to the recycler deck of the Vibes TCG. So this new version of the deck is I'm calling it the Attention Recycler deck. And the reason for that is we've added a drop of attention to the deck. Now, what a drop of attention says is it's a red action for one pudge that says you can only play this action if it's the fourth action you've played this cycle. Ice all penguins. So the reason we play this card in this deck is that Recycler really struggled with yellow aggro, and it also had a tough matchup into caffeine. And a board clear is just what the deck needs in both of those matchups. And the reason a drop of attention works so well in this deck is it works really well with Overwhelm with Knowledge. Because Overwhelm with Knowledge is one pudge purple that says playable from ice by icing a rod you control instead of paying this pudge cost. Yeah, if you do put this card on the bottom of your deck, and draw a card. So one of the issues with a drop of attention is it's very card advantage negative because you have to play three other actions before you play it. But with Overwhelm with Knowledge, you can actually have one in your hand, and let's say one as a rod or one as in your ice. And then you can basically play three copies of Overwhelm with Knowledge. You play one from your hand, then you ice a rod to pull the other one from your ice into your ice, and then you also play the other one from your ice. And now you've actually drawn three cards and played a drop of attention. So you actually haven't lost any card advantage, and it's only cost you one red pudge and one purple pudge. So it's a really lightweight board clear. So yeah, so that's kind of how that board clear package works. So this means we're splashing red. And so if we splash red, we need some red pudge. And so PotionCommotion is just absolutely amazing. And the reason PotionCommotion is so good, not only does it give us the red pudge, but it also, doesn't give us a downside by, it still also produces purple pudge. On top of that, it's a relic, and a relic survives the board clear, which means that you can actually like play it, then do the board clear, and then you'll still have the relic on the board. And on top of that, it gives a vibe counter. And the vibe counter is so good with Adventure Squad because, right, Adventure Squad, it says choose a penguin in your huddle and one in your opponent huddle. Is the one that's vibing the least or the most. One of the problems with Adventure Squad is you play Adventure Squad on, let's say, a BrainyPenguin, and then they can play Gotham. So you really want to get something up with a vibe of three. So PotionCommotion can get all of your two vibe penguins, and there's a lot of them in this deck, to three vibe, which then makes them work better with Adventure Squad. So then we're also playing the Red Wizard, Wizard of Balloons, just because I felt that four red pudge just wasn't quite enough. Plus, sometimes if they're using like Tina Who Tears or Popping Pete, right, they can actually prevent you, like they can get you off of your red pudge. So Wizard of Balloons, I think I replaced the Purple Penguin Wizard with this. I also never really liked the way the Purple Penguin Wizard came and flopped. And this deck now requires less pudge is all because we took out the change perspective. So then, okay, so that's what we have here. So because we are splashing red, we can also play Layer Lasagna. So it's incorrect here that it costs one fish. It costs one red pudge and one purple pudge. And this is another removal spell that says choose a lil with vibe 5 or less, or a non-lil with vibe 5 or greater and ice it. So now the removal package, instead of having 4 adventure squads and 4 overwhelm with knowledge, we actually have 2 layer lasagna. I'm still not convinced about this card, like how strong it really is, but it is nice to just have more variety. That being said, before we play our games, we're gonna take out the layer lasagna, and just play with have a philosophical debate and adventure squad. And the reason for that is right now there's a bug where Prosperous Penguin cannot actually select layer of lasagna. And right, the whole point of this deck is Prosperous Penguin. Like this is the card advantage engine of the deck. So we definitely need all of our removal to work with it. So until that bug is fixed, just run 4 debates and 4 adventure squads. But once Phosphorus Penguin works with Layer of Lasagna, then I would probably try out 3-3-2. Maybe I have the ratio wrong. Maybe we want 3-layer lasagnas, 2 philosophical debates, and 2 adventure squads. Or I don't know. I don't know the ratio of the removal spells. Also, like 8 might not be the right number. Maybe it should be 9. Maybe it should be 7. So that's something to play around with. So the other big change we've made to the deck is we've added Rod of Charming Melodies. So with the board clear now, the games become much longer and grindy. And so if you're having these long grindy games, then right, Rod of Charming Melodies is good because it just keeps your ice full of cards. And one of the weaknesses of this deck is you were so reliant on PenguinWhoosOK in order to get cards into your ice. And the problem with that is twofold. One, they can just remove it, and two, because we play MountFuji, they often just select PenguinWhoosOK with MountFuji. And then all of a sudden we're in trouble and we can't really get our ice. And we're relying just on BrainyPenguin, which just isn't enough. So Charming Melodies is just really the missing piece I found in this deck. Like I really, really like it in it. I'm surprised, honestly, because I've tried it in the past in the older versions of Recycler, and it didn't really work. But in this version, it's really good. I think one of the other big differences is because you're playing a drop of attention, you need to have a lot of rods because you can't just do this combo with only like 3 or 4 rods because then you end up with only 2 rods. So because you're playing a bit more aggressive on rods, then Charming Melodies is easier to get out because with the old decks it was just really hard to get to 6 rods. So the other card that I really question is PurpleMegaPenguin. So I think the flex slot. I do really like that it's 6 vibe and it can help you get like a drop of attention back or whatever your key card is. But yeah, so the card I took out was change perspective. So I really do think Chase Your Dreams is really important because in those long grindy games, you end up cycling through your, especially let's say you have 2 or 3 charming melodies out, you can cycle your deck like every other turn, which just means you basically can just replay Chase Your Dream over and over and over and over again. Um, and you don't even have to draw it. So I really like Chase Your Dream for those long matchups. But yeah, change perspective just seemed a little clunky, especially since we took out the purple wizard penguins. So, but yeah, so we have the 2 mega penguins. So I could consider swapping this out for the change perspectives. So yeah, so this is the updated deck. Overall, I've been doing extremely well with it. I climbed with it to the number 3 spot on the ladder, right around the time that all those Coliseum decks came out. So let's talk about that a little bit. Because so this deck just could not handle playing against Coliseum, um, at least in its old bugged form. So just for context, I'm recording this on Saturday, July 26th. So at the time of recording, right, what happened was, and let's just show Coliseum to talk through this for a second because it's such an important card for this situation. So Coliseum, um, yeah, so what Coliseum says is players may look at the top card of their deck. Players cannot play cards from anywhere else. Whenever another location enters play Isis Relic. So the problem with Coliseum is, right, it limits you from playing from the top of your deck. And so you can't really pull off the board clear because it requires playing like a bunch of cards from your hand or from your ice. And also, Bunkus can't be played from your ice. Binkus can't be played. So you have all of these. Like this deck really relies on having a hand and playing stuff in the right order. So Colosseum is just really detrimental for this deck. But the way that Colosseum was implemented originally meant you could still play your rods from your hand, but you couldn't play the rods from the top of your deck. And so being able to play the rod from the top of your deck will help a little because that means that you'll be able to, at least every time you hit an action card, you'll be able to get it off of your deck to get to a penguin or your Mount Fuji. But like right now, how many things can we actually play with Coliseum? Like, or can we not play? We can't really play this. We can't 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 play this. And we can't play this. So like a large portion of the deck ends up like stopping the chain with Coliseum. So what the Yeah, so if Colosseum so when Colosseum comes back, we'll see if this deck can handle it. Um, because basically what you would do is you just need to chain off the top of your deck until you hit a Mount Fuji, is basically how you would deal with the Colosseum. And so I don't know if that's actually going to be possible. Or if you're just because like before the way Colosseum worked before in its bugged form, it was like not possible to win at all against Colosseum. It was like instant loss. So then the question is, what if it's not good enough? So there's 2 cards I was thinking about putting in. If when Colosseum comes back and it's really strong, there's a few directions I think we can go. The first is Tina Who Tears. So Tina Who Tears would be really good because it's just another hit off the top of your deck to deal with a Colosseum. And on top of that, it's another card that just works good in the matchup against decks that typically run Colosseum because it can work on too much caffeine and it can work on inspiring story, which those decks typically run. So the other card I was thinking about was Leaning Tower. So Leaning Tower, it could actually work good in this deck because Leaning Tower says flop penguins now participate in vibe check and unflop penguins do not participate in vibe check. Whenever another location enters play, ice this relic. So the reason Leaning Tower could be very interesting in this deck is that yeah, so the way that Leaning Tower works is, right, you need to be able to flop your penguins. But here you can flop your penguins so many ways. You have so many. You can use Overwhelm with Knowledge. you can use Chase Your Dreams, you can use your removal spells, and so it should be pretty easy for you to flop your penguins. And then your opponent, right? They flop their penguins. You can remove their flop penguins. So right, they flop their penguins. You remove their flop penguins at the same time flopping your own penguins. So I could see this working. So I could see a world where we would put in 4 leaning towers. It might actually be good in this deck. Right. I don't think it needs it right now, and I would definitely prefer not to have it. But if we need it for Coliseum, so then the question is, what would we do to make space for that? So if we look at the deck as is, I would say, okay, we could definitely cut the 2 purple mega penguins for the leaning tower. We could cut the removal down. Like, right, we have 8 pieces of removal. We could go down to 7 or maybe even 6. Um, we could we could maybe cut the Chase Your Dream or the Cooking Penguin. I love these cards in the deck, so I'm not sure. Charming Melodies could go down to 1 copy, and also a Brainy Penguin maybe down to 3 copies. So there definitely is, or even a drop of attention. If there's not a lot of yellow aggro, you could go down to 3 copies of drop of attention maybe. And, Binkus could also go. I really like Binkus, especially because in the late often it's just another card to get out in the late game that's just like 10 vibe, and sometimes they will disable your Bunkus with MountFuji, and so then Binkus can come in and still be a pretty big threat. So I'm not really I don't really think we should get rid of Binkus. But yeah, so anyway, I think right, if we wanted to go full anti-Coliseum, we could put in 8 cards. We could put in 4 Tinas and 4 Leaning Towers. And at that point, I think we're gonna have to make some serious cuts. But right, let's say we cut out 2 purple mega penguins, 1 charming melody, 2 removals. That's 5. 1 brainy penguin. That's 6. And then the 2 chase your dreams, 7, 8. So we could do something like that. That would be a very big teching it in that matchup. And so I think we'd have to first see how powerful it really is once it's in its non-bugged form, and then we'd have to understand how other decks in the meta react. Because right, as long as it's kept in check and it's like 10% of games, I don't mind having a matchup that is not yeah, that's not that strong. Like, right, if 10% of your games are a matchup that's 60-40 or 40-60, it's okay. But it's just if like because before when in its bug form, it was like 80% of matchups or something like that. It was just like all the time. Or maybe let's say 50. And so if it's such a high percentage, you need to have a good matchup into it. Cool. So one last thing I just want to talk about is mulligans. So typically I'm looking for Mount Fuji. I think that's a really important card in the mulligan. Then Penguin Who's Okay, of course. BrainyPenguin is also good because one of the things it lets you do is just reset your hand. So I think I'm pretty much looking for Fuji, BrainyPenguin, Penguin Who's Okay. Maybe I'll keep PotionCommotion if everything else is looking good. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm pretty much generally mulliganing very aggressively. Okay, let's jump into some games and see how we perform. All right. So this first game is very special because we're playing Mindstorm, and Mindstorm is the person who has been helping me build this deck list. So Mindstorm and I have been having a lot of discussions on how to build Recycler. So I don't know if Mindstorm is going to be playing Recycler, but yeah. So okay. So we're going to keep Brainy. So the question is, do we want to keep Cooking as a good card to discard? But I don't think so. I think we go straight up for the Penguin Who's Okay. So if yeah, so if Mindstorm is playing Recycler, I've never played the mirror match, so this will be very exciting. But maybe Mindstorm is playing something else. Okay, we'll rod the Adventure Squad. I don't think I need 2 removals. Um, yeah, so we have, but yeah, I think my understanding is the list Recycler list Mindstorm is playing is definitely different without drop of attention, but with overwhelm with knowledge. So okay, so this also is going to be very um hmm. Do we mount Fuji here? No, I think we'll do the Wizard of Balloons. And yeah, I don't think we need Mount Fuji, but okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, so I think this is gonna be Recycler. And but maybe they're playing something else at this point. Um yeah, so okay, so if they're Recycler, we really need to get to Binkus quickly. Okay, we've got the drop and the overwhelm, so we can clear the board once almost. We're missing one more overwhelm. Yeah. Uh-oh, they're playing Wizard of Balloons too. So this might be my list. No, okay, they're playing Pudgicate. Okay, so this is a different list, but definitely still Recycler. Okay, so they're probably playing Wizard of Balloons. Okay, so we have the board clear already. So we can definitely get rid of one. Yeah, but I think hmm. Yeah, so the question is, because we definitely have the board clear going on. They might have a not today, but okay, so we definitely need to play rods out. Do we wanna play the brainy? 'Cause I do wanna get the charming melodies. I think I just hold. Um, because I could have played a overwhelm with knowledge as a rod, because it's safe. Now, one thing I am really worried about is Binkus, because if they're playing Binkus, right, if we have the rod in our ice, then right, Binkus can clear it. So I think having the second overwhelm as a rod will be good. So we can play one as a rod, and then we'll see if they overcommit. Okay, so yeah, so PotionCommotion is not good. Um, so why did a Phosphorus Penguin get iced there? I'm not sure. Okay, maybe I missed something. Okay, so I think I don't think we need the Mega Penguin. Well, I was saying I don't think we need the I think we'll play the rod as we'll play this as a rod, and then we'll play the Brainy. So again, as you can see, I'm trying to always lose the vibe checks. Um, okay. Yeah, but I think we'll get rid of the Penguin who's okay here. And yeah, because I think we'll get rid of the Penguin who's okay, because it's a little bit I don't want them to keep building up their ice for no reason. So maybe they'll use like a have a philosophical debate or a layer lasagna. No, they can't use layer lasagna. I specifically chose the Brainy Penguin because I'd rather have the Wizard of Balloons left. Okay, so they are okay, so this is good. So okay, so this ends up being a like, a one for one trade. So we both lose our brainies. So had I picked the Wizard of Balloons though, they couldn't have done that. So maybe I should have picked the Wizard of Balloons. Okay, so we're continuing our I'm really just trying to get this Rod of Charming Melodies down. That's why I'm so aggressively playing out rods. But once it's down, I'm gonna stop playing rods. So we will see. Um, okay, so Popcorn Penguin. Okay, that is not what I was expecting. So okay, so if it's a Popcorn Penguin, I think we're just gonna wait out this Popcorn Penguin. So we'll play the Potion Commotion. Um, and we'll play it on. Yeah, I guess we'll play it on the Wizard of Balloons because I don't really want them. Yeah, do I want the Penguin who's okay to grow bigger? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so yeah, so Popcorn Penguin is the other direction you can go with this deck in order to the other direction you can go with this deck in order to beat yellow is to play Popcorn. So yeah, so Mindstorm's version of the deck, which is also I really like it as well, focuses more on Popcorn Penguin, and you see like Pudgicate in there. So this is definitely a different way to build it. But it is definitely good. Okay, so we are getting to the point where we're gonna have to clear the board. Now they do, I think, run not today, so I think we don't want to wait till the absolute last turn to play it. So here we just have to wait because there's nothing we can do about there's nothing we can do about this here, and we'll have to then next turn. So do we want to keep the Adventure Squad in our hand or just play a rod? Because I think we'll have to play Bunkus next turn. I'm not sure. So I think oh, we already played a rod. Okay, so there's no okay. So here we have to wait for the popcorn to ice itself. So the real question is, if they have not today, then we're gonna be in trouble. Okay, so that was kind of smart from them. So they're trying to keep the popcorn on the board. Um, okay, so if keeping the popcorn on the board, can I get something out with a vibe greater than 2? Is the question for next turn. Um, yeah, so will they have a not today? Is the well, I guess I could play yeah, I just need 2 small things. Yeah, because if I get 2 small things, or if I got a Binkus wouldn't help me play a Binkus wouldn't help me play out next turn, so I'm potentially in trouble. Um, so right, are they playing not today? If they have not today, right, they can counter the drop of attention, which is gonna be a problem for us. Um, but we're gonna get out the Bunkus. Okay, so they are icing us. Okay, so they got Binkus. Did they get their own Binkus? Yeah, okay, so they got their own Binkus. So they're trying to ice us in order to play out their Binkus. but, um, so they hit our Binkus. So this is gonna kind of be a problem for us. 7, yeah, because they can basically use their Binkus to fully clear our ice here. And so, um, yeah, so this is definitely a big problem because by using their Binkus to clear our ice, we now so the question is, how are we gonna get off? We're not even gonna be able to get our Pudge. So, yeah, this is yeah, the fact that they got Binkus is a huge problem for us. So now really the only way we can do this is if we draw a Penguin here. Um, oh, no, because 13, so we have another turn. So, so we could deactivate no, so we could go for the board clear here, right? Because we could go, yeah, the problem is we still have no way okay, so yeah, so we could play, um yeah, we could just play Mount Fuji on Binkus or Popcorn. Um, but yeah, I think we just wait a turn. Hmm. Yeah, or what? Okay, so or we play Mount Fuji on the Popcorn, we clear the board, but then yeah, the problem is we have no way really the Binkus is just a huge problem for us. So maybe we play this on the Binkus. But they can still use it from the ice, I think. Okay, so let's just play Mount Fuji. And we'll play this on the Popcorn. No, we could just play this on the Binkus, and then the Popcorn will just slowly I think we play this on the Binkus, and then we will just slowly yeah, because we'll be able to play the Bunkus, I think. Now the question is, if we play this on the Binkus, okay, so we now will just buy one more turn. So their Popcorn is just slowly gonna have to ice everything on their side. So we are, what did they pick? Prosperous Penguin. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, so now the Popcorn is gone, and so now, do they have their own Bunkus? No. Okay, hopefully I didn't break the game by going to the ice. Okay, so this is okay, so now we get a Penguin who's okay. But yeah, so the Binkus can still empty our ice, I believe. Right, because when the Binkus right, because when you use Mount Fuji, what you with Mount Fuji, you still right, it as soon as it enters the field, it'll get removed, but it can still get iced. So, we're still in a problem here because we don't have a good solution to not today. So if but the nice thing about not today is it's gonna require them losing a rod, so we should have one more turn. Okay, and we have a second drop of attention, so, um, well, okay, so how many cards are in our ice? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, but we can just play Prosperous Penguin, right? And it's not a problem. Okay, so we'll try to clear the board here. I'm not sure if it's going to work because, right, they might have what's it called? The, they might have the not today, but if they have the not today, they'll be knocked off of 13. So, yeah, but this is definitely a tight game. Okay, so then we do this, we pull out this, but we really need our Binkus. But yeah, our Binkus is very deep in our deck. But yeah, so if they do not today, at least we'll draw 2 cards. And then maybe next turn we have, okay, so what do we want in our ice? We want to definitely not put that in our ice. So we'll put the, I guess the Adventure Squad. And so then, oh good, another Potion Commotion. So that's very good. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if they not today this. But the good news is if they not today it, we're off of 14, and then maybe next turn we'll have we'll be able to clear the board again. But okay, so now here yeah, so we cleared the board. Okay, so it's yeah, so yeah, so again, so okay, so the real question is, so even if we win this, it's gonna be because they can't play Binkus from their ice. So again, I don't know if that's how this works or not. Like, it's not supposed to work like that, but I know Bunkus works like that with MountFuji, so it's hmm. Yeah, so it's unclear if that's what the situation is that's going on. So we'll just, yeah, we'll just play out our PotionCommotion. So I think at this point, we just really want to okay, wait. Do I want actually the Cooking Penguin? Because I might really want the Cooking Penguin, but I'm gonna start, well, I do wanna keep losing the vibe checks, I think. Well, I guess we don't need Prosperous Penguin. So I think I'm happy to just keep losing the vibe checks. If they play a Bunkus, okay, so if they're gonna play Have a Philosophical Debate, I think we'll play Have a Philosophical Debate as well. Oh yeah, because this means we can get rid of their oh no, that's our own ice. Okay. So we'll just keep the board clean. So let's see. 3 cards. So what do we want on our deck? Okay, I guess we do Charming Melodies, Adventure Squad, and Penguin Who Runs the Lift. Okay, 3. Okay, so yeah, so let's see what they're so yeah, so if I get Binkus, I still would like to clear their ice. Um so let's see, I'm assuming they kept Binkus in there. Where'd their Binkus go? Oh yeah, there's their Binkus. Okay. So okay, so yeah, because as long as we keep losing the vibe checks, right? We're starving them of cards. And if a Bunkus comes out, we can adventure squad it. So, okay, so they're gonna go Mount Fuji. Okay, so I wonder what they're gonna pick. Um, can I see what they picked? No. Okay. Okay, so I think well, I definitely need to keep picking Binkus because they have Binkus and I don't have Binkus. Okay, so now there's no Binkus or Bunkus. Okay. Sounds good to me. So that means it's all gonna be about removal. So maybe I can get them to run out of cards. All right. So if there's no Binkus and Bunkus, um, yeah, I guess we'll do the Cooking Penguin. Do we want to start winning the vibe check? I don't really want to win the vibe check though. Um, yeah. So I think we just because right. See, look, this is how it's supposed to work, right? I can still play Bunkus. It's just gonna get zeroed out when it comes in. So if there's no Binkus and Bunkus, I don't really want to win the vibe check. I think so. I'll just play this Bunkus as a rod. Um, so yeah. So I think we just keep. Okay. So let's look at card advantage. So we're each at 9, but I somehow ended up 3 card advantage wise. So that's pretty good, but they have 9 more cards in ice. This is this is such a yeah, I'm so happy we got this game on camera recorded because okay, so they're going to go okay, so double cooking penguin. So that means okay, so I think we don't need the other drop. And so we can play cooking penguin too. I think we'll play cooking penguin and we'll play penguin who's okay. So right, because we do want to and we'll start removing their cooking penguin. Well, I guess removing cooking penguin is kind of pointless because it's going to keep coming back. So we need, but yeah, I think we still, yeah, we still do it because it's going to require them to spend permanence. And right, maybe they'll have a philosophical debate, my penguin. But okay, so yeah, the thing with this a drop of attention is it doesn't actually do anything. Well, I just need one more overwhelm with knowledge, I guess, and then it's live. So I have an overwhelm with knowledge. So okay, so we're gonna go right. Okay, we want to ice our deck a lot so that we can get the change perspectives out because that's gonna give us even more card advantage. And yeah, the thing about Cooking Penguin is if Cooking Penguin comes back, they have to give up a rod. Now we would so this is Purple Mega Penguin would be amazing here. Um, so Cooking Penguin's gonna keep coming. Um, okay, so another rod of Charming Melodies. So that's good. And then we'll play this. So we're gonna ice a lot of cards from our deck now. Um, okay, and there is Chase Your Dreams. So we can definitely play Chase Your Dreams, and hopefully we get another Overwhelm with Knowledge. Then we can clear the board again. Okay, Purple Mega Penguin. Perfect. That is just what we needed. Um, so the only question is, are we gonna run out of so can we play Bunkus from our ice? Because maybe we're gonna end up actually getting decked. In which case we would want to yeah, so maybe we shouldn't keep yeah, I think we're gonna start doing them because I'm not sure. I just want to confirm I can actually use my Bunkus from my ice. Um, okay, so what did they pick here? So they picked have a philosophical debate. Um, okay, so let's just try to deck them maybe. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so the problem is, look, we can't play Bunkus. Um, so okay, so because of the have a philosophical. Okay, so I think we're gonna try to just deck them, I guess, because so we'll play the Chase Your Dreams as the rod, and we'll play the Cooking Penguin. Because there's no yeah, I want the like I want to play the purple mega penguin, but I want to save it for next turn when it's so I could do chase your dreams. No, not yet. Okay, yeah, we'll wait one more turn. So let's go yeah, so the yeah, so okay, so anyway, this game is kind of broken because of the Mount Fuji situation where both if Binkus and Bunkus could be played, it would be it would be definitely a different game. Okay, so now at this point, okay, but here I could play Binkus, but right, if I played Binkus, so either way, I want to get the purple mega penguin out, and I want to get have a philosophical debate back because that's going to prevent me from getting decked. So, or I could have taken Bunkus back. That would have been interesting. But okay, they're going to get decked first. So I could just play Binkus here, and then I have, or but oh, they might be playing Spring Break. So let's see. Yeah, because I think there's Spring Break in this list. So right now, anyway, we have the biggest penguin on the board. We are going to win the game, so it's going to force them to do something. Adventure Squad. Okay, so then I will have a philosophical debate. The Cooking Penguin. Okay, so let's recap this game a bit because it definitely played out in a way that was a little. The Mount Fuji bug definitely matters a lot in this matchup, but I think it did affect both of us. Um, so the original selection of me selecting Binkus, I did that in order to get it off the board. Like I wasn't like trying to exploit the bug. But at the same time, I think that did help me later when they couldn't replay Binkus. That being said, I never even played a Bunkus. So I don't know if having or have a philosophical debate was in there. So that's interesting. So you could see here, Charming Melodies was just absolutely amazing in this game in these like long games, and I also really like Chase Your Dreams because if we could have like even with Mount Fuji blocking both of them, right, we could have still used Bunkus in order to shuffle back cards in our deck. So we could have just gone forever cycling. So I think compared to the build that Mindstorm is running, this build just packs a little more like end game long, like grindy out things. And you saw the drop of attention turn. That was very critical. So overall, very fun game. It's definitely a mirror match, so we can't really like, but I think my variation of the mirror is slightly better for the mirror, but the mirror also goes down to if you get Binkus. So anyway, very well played, Mindstorm. And again, I just want to say thank you for all your help designing this deck together. And yeah, it's really exciting. This was our first game, and I do apologize for any of the bug related stuff. But again, like that's kind of what we live with in the beta, and it's I don't yeah I think it symmetrically hurt both of us. But again, right, I definitely am not taking this as saying that I did better this game because It really like it. Yeah, that was definitely a thing that tars the game a bit. But either way, very well played. And yeah, let's jump to the next game. All right. So jumping in the next game, I do see we have 2 drop of attention in our opening hand. So I think I'm going to keep 1 just because it's so key to the game. And if we put 2 on the bottom of our deck, it means there's only going to be 2 left in our deck. So okay, so this is what we like to see. Like, because if we start with a drop and a overwhelm with knowledge, we're already ready for the board clear. So okay, so yeah, we don't need 2 adventure squads. So that's the thing. I find myself very often rotting the removal spells. So it does make me think that maybe I'm a bit heavy on removal. So I think so that's where I'm thinking like, right, because we do want to have enough to keep Prosperous Penguin running, but maybe it is just one of those situations where I think, especially if we're gonna like put in the leaning tower or something like that, cutting removal, maybe even down to 6. We could do like 2 debates, 2 lasagnas, 2 adventure squads. Okay, blue. Hmm. Okay, so blue is in general good because we yeah, I'm not really worried about blue. So I guess against blue I don't need the charming melodies because they're gonna keep our ice full for us. So there's really no need for that. Plus we have 4 have a philosophical debates and a bunch of bunkus. Now the thing with blue we have to keep in mind is they do play Great Wall. So if it's one of those like Great Wall blue builds, they can like knock out easily 18 cards in your deck, 20 cards in your deck at once. So we want to keep our ice very low. Um, so okay, so then do we do Sneaky Penguin or do we do PotionCommotion first or BrainyPenguin? Because I think maybe okay, I don't think we need lift. Because what would I discard? I guess I could discard the overwhelm with knowledge. No, because if I discard another one, I want this one in my hand. Because I think I'm gonna have to board clear. Because you pretty much always have to board clear. Okay, so PurpleMegaPenguin. Okay, so what do I not need? With Brainy, because I do want I want to play the potion. So I think I just play one more. I play one more turn slow, and I'll just play the potion. Um, I guess we can boost this card. It's not yeah. So next turn we can get rid of the penguin who runs the lift and whatever we draw. Because then we also have the adventure squad and we can take out the sneaky. And we can just start removing stuff. Because the thing with blue is, yeah, like they could have spring a leak, which is for drop of attention. So we can't be over reliant on drop of attention. Like, right, there will be a turn where we can probably do it. But like if we set it up that if they counter it, we lose the game. Like we want to do it not on the final turn. So that does mean that here, yeah, with Brainy Penguin, we will yeah. Yeah, so what do we don't really need Brainy Penguin. Maybe who runs the lift is not bad because we could start winning some vibe checks. But I'm not really worried. Okay, Hungry Penguin. That is not what I was expecting. Okay, another potion. So it just really does make me want to do the drop. But okay, so we'll do the Brainy Penguin and we'll get rid of the other Brainy Penguin and the Penguin who runs the lift. I think these are not going to be necessary. Okay, and then I think okay, so Penguin who's I can use the overwhelm with knowledge as the rod. Well, I guess if I keep it in my hand for next turn, then I need to give up one less card in my ice. Because we can do the potion commotion. And if we do the potion commotion, right, then we only lose the brainy penguin. And we can do overwhelm, and then one from the ice. So yeah, I think we'll just go for the board clear next turn. And ideally, we wait for them to play the to use the bottle penguin. Because also now if we draw one more overwhelm with knowledge, we can actually do the board clear twice. So yeah, I think it's good not to rot it. So in a game where we think that the opponent has some sort of way to cancel a drop of attention. Okay, so now in this case, okay, yeah, so now we can actually do it twice. But oof, look how brutal this is going to be. I'm just going to boost up my penguin. And now the um so do we just want to clear it here, or do we want to get greedy? Yeah, because now the um yeah, I'm kind of wondering if we should just, yeah, I think we'll just use change perspective to draw a card. I think we can go a little slower because they're at 10. So either way, we can always adventure squad, because we can always adventure squad and then overwhelm with knowledge. So we can, yeah. So again, and this is this is the right. Maybe I shouldn't even call it recycler. I guess it's still recycler because we are recycling through our deck really fast. But this is definitely a more like just a control deck. But I think the name recycler, I like it, so that's why I keep it like that. Um, okay, so it's not really looking like a hyper like mill deck. So if okay, another potion. All right, so we're definitely gonna go full potion. Um, yeah, so we can go potion, and then this turn, I wonder again, charming melodies. They're doing a really, yeah. So I'd like to, yeah. I hope that they use the bottle penguin. So if they use the bottle penguin, um, yeah, we'll use the potion. Okay, I think we'll do I guess we'll do charming melodies as the rod. It's a little bit like, yeah. So let's see. So hopefully they will use the, what's it called? The bottle penguin here. Okay, they didn't use the bottle penguin. So they're probably okay, so anyway, we have to just go for it this turn. Well, and they might have Binkus too. So I think, oh, so I could just play the 3 overwhelm with knowledges. Um or I could, well, now I have Mount Fuji. Does that help? No, so I might be playing this too slow. But I have such, okay, so now they do the bottle penguin. Okay, so now it's good. So now I can do overwhelm with knowledge, the second one, and then do we want to do one from the ice? I think we'll do one from the ice. Well, let's just see what we draw. If we draw another overwhelm with knowledge, okay, yeah, we have the bunkus. Yeah, because I do kind of wish I had send it like I wish I had a charming melodies down. Well, I mean they are blue, so I think if we just play this really slow, it's just they have so many yeah, I'm just worried about Binkus a little bit. So that's why I don't really want okay, let's put them yeah, let's put the Mega Penguin in. So we'll do drop of attention here. That's going to clear the board. Okay, let's draw the card first. So we are still set up to do drop of attention again, but right, the nice thing here is right when we do drop of attention, we keep and this again, why this is why PotionCommotion is just so crazy good in this deck. But the problem is they still have 10 rods. So they're quite close to winning. So we need to just but we have so much removal. So I think it's okay. But if they have a Binkus here, it could definitely be annoying. So but yeah, let's look at card advantage. So they're at 10. Okay, so they don't have anything. So okay, so we can do yeah, I think we don't need Mount Fuji. And then I think, yeah, I think we can just wait here. We're not in a rush. We can just start winning the vibe check because we do need to get rods out. Right. I think Binkus is the card that's going to cause us problems. So maybe should just use Fuji on Binkus proactively. But I think it's fine. So we still always have a board clear because we have one overwhelm with knowledge in our ice. Again, this is why I wish it was what it's so much better to have it as a rod because of the rod, Binkus can't remove it. Um, but that being said, okay, so I think this turn we kind of go for, yeah, I don't think we need the wizard. So I think we can put Bunkus and the wizard in our ice. Let's just see what we draw. Okay, we definitely don't need the second drop. And then I think we will play Bunkus just to get our ice. back under control, so 8. Okay, so we wanna keep penguins in there. 1, we want philosophical debate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess that sure. Like, we wanna just keep this so they can't do, like, send it too hard, because right, otherwise, this could be like blue pudge, send it too hard. So, yeah, so hungry penguin, but that's not a problem. We'll just remove that with Adventure Squad. And although I'd like to lose the vibe check, I think. Yeah, I think I just wanna lose the vibe check, because if I lose the vibe check, it's gonna just let me see what they play so I can react properly for the final turn. So I think going into the final turn, losing the vibe check is good. So overall, yeah. Okay. So let's see. Um, and plus now, yeah, if they do Binkus, because they could do Binkus and get rid of Bunkus, in which case, yeah. So part of the problem with those, like I guess with losing the vibe check, is they could literally win win with nothing on the board. Like if they do well, they could play one rod that would get them to 14. Waterfall penguin. Okay. That's okay. Well, that doesn't matter even. Okay. So I think we do everything, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we can do everything. So we can rod the adventure squad. Okay, so we play Prosperous Penguin, get that, play Cooking Penguin, and we play Penguin Who's Okay. All right, so then we have to just remove both of their things. So or we have to get our bunkus big. So okay, so we'll start with an adventure squad on the we'll start with the adventure squad on the waterfall. And then we'll have a philosophical debate for the hungry penguin. And then that should be it. Now the one thing is if the bug happens where, because sometimes with Prosperous Penguin, the cards from the ice don't trigger. So, but theoretically, we should be okay here. So anyway, we'll win the game if this resolves, if this have a philosophical debate resolves. Okay, so we'll flop these two. Right, we want to keep one potion unflopped, because if everything goes sideways, we can always drop of attention. Although that will be really sad if we have to do that, because we kind of went all in on the board. But all right, so then 6, we have 6 cards in our ice. We're gonna have to keep something to keep Bunkus alive. So we're gonna lose all of our overwhelm with knowledges, but that's okay, because we have to keep basically we have to keep the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. So all right, so this is just this is a clinical recycler game where you just yeah, you do the one drop of attention, and then after the drop of attention, you roll back on the board and just control everything. So yeah, so this just worked really well. I don't think there's any like maybe we were running it a bit close. I think part of the thing is right. I specifically didn't play the charming melodies, so these are face down, um, because it was blue, and with blue, I'm not really worried. So my ice was a bit light relative to what I needed it to be, because they didn't really play any mill cards besides the one bottle penguin. So this does show you that the deck doesn't really need that many cards in the ice, but we would have been better if we had more cards in the ice. And so right, because then our bunkers would have been giant at the end. So against blue, it's a little bit of a balancing act, because you don't want if you put too much cards in your ice, you can lose a game, and then they also activate their send it too hard. So you do kind of want to keep a good balance on your ice. But overall, okay, cool, good second game, much quicker than the first one because it wasn't the mirror match. But okay, let's jump and let's do one more. All right, so looking at this hand, so we've got MountFuji, which is good with BrainyPenguin. So I think we keep that. Yeah, all the other cards are more late game cards, so I think we don't need those. All right, so now we also got a PotionCommotion, that's good. But we don't have the drop of attention, which again, it's not a problem not to have it in the opening hand, because we do draw quite a bit, especially because we have Brainy. So I think, right, we really want to assess what we're playing against because it's okay. Purple, Lil Moonlight. Okay, so that's I'm not really familiar with this. So is this going to be some sort of Binkus deck, or this could be like a caffeine type deck? So I think have a philosophical debate is good because I don't think it's going to be a blue deck, which is that's what it's like. We don't have that much cards to ice in our own hand. So okay, so let's start with that. And okay, so okay, we've got double brainy, so we can reset this hand easily if it's not right for whatever matchup we're playing. Potion commotion will always be good. Definitely not worried about that. So yeah, so if we see like a sneaky penguin here, then I'm definitely thinking it's like a caffeine bash globe type deck that's maybe splashing purple. It's just the purple is really throwing me off because okay, now it's peace out. Okay. So against peace out, we want removal. Okay, so we do have a lot of removal, although I would prefer to have philosophical debate. So I think we don't need both brainies. I think we'll just we could throw the Fuji out there and just deactivate the peace out, but I guess this could easily run popcorn as well. So I think we just wait. Because okay, so we can play the potion next turn, and then we play the brainy. Or we play the brainy first. But although I don't think they're going to be running Gotham, just based on the fact that they're running. Yeah, so we'll just play. Yeah, so I think we play. Well, we can still play the brainy first. Well, I do want. I like all the cards in my hand. That's the problem with this deck. I always like all the cards in my hand, but we need to start. We need to start removing stuff starting next turn. So I think. Yeah, I think this just isn't Charming Melodies time because I don't think we can afford to hold that in our hand all the way till turn 6. Because yeah, we're just gonna need to be playing just removal after removal. So I think okay, so we'll play Potion Commotion first because I'm not quite set on what I want to discard. Okay, so we'll do yeah, the next turn we'll play Brainy in an Adventure Squad. Then we'll play Prosperous Penguin. Maybe a philosophical debate at that point because we'll have 3 cards in our ice. So, but yeah, we need to really start removing stuff because I feel like a green Mega Penguin comes down. I guess we have the Mount Fuji for that. Purple Mega. Okay, so we have like infinite removal. So it's just a question of are we gonna have time to play it all? So that's basically so this is a hand that's like the old school recycler hand. This is also what I'm saying is like maybe there's too much removal because like we have 4 pieces of removal here, and this is just too much. Okay, so we'll just start. We might just end up getting run over here. Um. Okay, so the purple Mega Penguin. Well, I could see that happening next turn. Okay, so I think we don't need all of these adventure squads. I think. Oh, well, we're also gonna play Brainy, so we'll play Brainy first. Okay, so I think we play Brainy, and we get rid of one Adventure Squad and one Purple Mega Penguin. I think that's good. And then we play another. See, like there's so much removal. Okay, the next turn we can play double. We can play Prosperous Penguin, then we do double removal. So we'll remove. Yeah, so we'll use the Adventure Squad. We'll remove, I guess, one of the peace outs. If they counter this by using an activator and then using a peace out, it's fine because then it's gonna be a 2 for 2. The only sad thing is then we don't get double removal next turn. So we get 1 removal here. Then next turn, we're gonna do Prosperous into Wizard of Balloons. And you'll notice that the way that we play this is we do generally want to lose the vibe check because this is a very like reacting controlling deck. And so we really want to see what they play in order to know how to best respond to it. And we want them to have a lot of rods and us to have a lot of cards because that just means that it's going to be easy to fully clear their board. Okay, so they're going to get rid of. Okay, so we have to get rid of. Okay, so this is really bad because we have no way to get rid of the misplays. Okay, I was not expecting a misplays to come out. Okay, so I think I have to use the Mount Fuji on misplays. I don't really see any other because if I don't use the Mount Fuji on misplays, right, then because we won't be able to get to 7 cards in our ice. Well, that's just really unfortunate. I did not want to use um I did not want to use my Mount Fuji here like this, but it's it's what we have to do. So we'll use yeah, and then we'll get rid of the peace out penguin. So I'm gonna get yeah, I'm deactivating the misplace, so I should be able to use the adventure squad. And I wonder what they're gonna deactivate. But yeah, the problem is we can't really win a vibe check here. Like we will have to remove everything. Um, so we do have still one, two, three pieces of removal, and they have three things. But okay, so what did they pick? Bashful Swordsman. Okay, so that means a Bashful Swordsman is coming out. So I do wonder if I should keep the drop of attention. So that means this is probably a Bashful Swordsman. Okay, so we will. Yeah, so I think we don't need this Wizard of Balloons. Okay, and we will do this. We'll grab the Adventure Squad. Okay. And now, what should we remove? I think we remove the. Peace Out Penguin. So yeah, so if we remove the Peace Out Penguin, because yeah, it has the ability and the misplace. Like we can't afford to just sit here and have the misplace. What if they remove this? Have a Tina who tears. That would be yeah. I think we can't play around Tina who tears right now. Although maybe we should have. But yeah, I think because we're gonna go really wide next turn and do a double removal. Okay, so BrainyPenguin, so that's not bad. Because we can yeah, so I'm assuming a Bashful Swordsman's gonna come because they picked that on there. Okay, so let's I think so we can afford to just remove one this turn. So we'll just remove the misplace this turn. So we'll yeah, I think we just get rid of the double. I guess we don't need the Wizard of Balloons. Okay, and then okay, so what can we do? We can do the PotionCommotion. No, we wanted to do Phosphorus this turn. So I guess we'll do the Chase Your Dreams as a rod. I don't really have a good way to get it into the ice, but that's okay. And then we get the Adventure Squad. Okay. So we can Adventure Squad the Misplace. And then next turn we can Philosophical Debate, I guess. We are kind of running out of out of cards. So yeah, we definitely don't want to win the vibe check. Yeah, we maybe we're too aggressive in icing our removal because we only have one piece of removal left. And so they're down to let's do a card advantage check. They're at 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so we are, yeah, guys, the two Prosperouses. So this is, again, right, this deck does just slowly get card advantage. So yeah, we want to lose this because we want access to two cards. And hopefully with those two cards, we can deal with, if we got okay, so Brainy is not bad because that means we can recycle. And if we don't get a Overwhelm with Knowledge, the nice thing is if we get one Overwhelm with Knowledge, we can actually do Overwhelm with Knowledge, Chase Your Dreams. Okay, so we have the Overwhelm with Knowledge, but at this point we don't really need it because we can just win this turn, right? Because we just do the have a philosophical debate on this. So I think we just so we do need to play everything, right? So I think there's nothing they should be able to do about this, right? I don't think so, unless I'm missing something. I guess like a got him. So if we got to, can we get to 15? Yeah, we can actually get to 15. So I think we rod the Overwhelm with Knowledge. No, I want to get that discarded. Okay, so we play BrainyPenguin, and we just discard the drop of attention. Then we have an Adventure Squad too. Okay, then we do I guess we'll do the Adventure Squad as a rod, and then we'll play the PotionCommotion. Okay. So now if there are problems, we can Overwhelm with Knowledge and Chase Your Dreams, so we can draw like a bazillion cards. So theoretically, we should be good because we just and right, the reason I really wanted to get to 15 was in case they have a got him. So if they have 2 Gotems, then that will be a problem. And so the reason I went away from Drop of Attention is like, look how many penguins they have relative to them. So this was more of a just remove everything game. So we did see for 6. So we saw 6 of our 8 removals in the top half of our deck. So maybe this is an unusually high amount of removals we saw here. But I still wonder if there's too many removals. But theoretically here, this should just win us the game. So again, this is the beauty of Recycler. We're playing just a bunch of little junk. We're playing some 2 vibes, maybe boost it to 3 vibes with a vibe counter. You know, our big finishers, PurpleMegaPenguin. It's just a bunch of useless junk together in this shell that is, yeah, that you can just generally win games with by just having long, drag out, scrappy matches, and you just remove everything. So, yeah, so either way, yeah, we just remove this little moonlight here. Cool. And there you have it. Right? This game was, again, right? I think I held on to the Drop of Attention too long before realizing that this was not the direction this game was going. But this is like, okay, so let's think about the matchups we played. So like in this type of matchup, which is like kind of like the Bash Globe matchup, you can just remove everything. They don't have that many penguins. You have more removal than they have penguins because you have 12 pieces of removal because I'm counting Prosperous Penguin. Or you have the Drop of Attention too if you need to swing it. Against yellow aggro, Drop of Attention is generally enough to win the game. And against something like caffeine, caffeine is the toughest matchup. Again, I will not like. So if you are struggling with caffeine, I think leaning tower might be the way to go. But anyway, I haven't really thought about it too much, or I haven't tested it too much. Let's put it like that, because I'm kind of waiting for Coliseum to come back. Because there's no point to try to figure out how to beat the current caffeines. Like I'd rather just like right now, this caffeine is not very popular on the ladder, so I'd rather wait for the current situation to kind of for the what's it called, for Coliseum to come back, and then we'll see. All right, so there you have it. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.